Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton joins us to discuss the latest on city issues, including the county's attempt to sell Chase Field. And the Phoenix Girls Chorus is set to begin its 35th season. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. A new CNN ORC poll shows Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump ahead of Democrat Hillary Clinton by 5 percentage points in Arizona. According to the survey, 43% of registered Arizona voters side with Trump, followed by 38% for Clinton. Libertarian Gary Johnson is third at 12%. The same poll shows 57% of Arizona Hispanic voters supporting Clinton, while 20% support Trump. Other results of note from the survey: 51% of registered voters disapprove of President Obama's performance, and the poll shows Senator John McCain with a sizable lead over challenger Kelly Ward in the GOP primary. McCain also registers a double-digit lead over Democrat Ann Kirkpatrick in a possible general election matchup. Each month, we welcome Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton to the Arizona Horizon studios for a discussion of city issues, including this month, the possible sale of Chase Field. That's the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here now is Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thanks for coming in.
Happy to do it.
The county's efforts to sell Chase Field, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on it. Obviously, unfortunately, the relationship between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the county has gotten crosswise over who has to pay for maintenance of the stadium. But from my perspective, even though we're not a party to that agreement, man, that is a very important parcel right in the heart of downtown Phoenix. And the Diamondbacks are an important asset to our city, particularly downtown Phoenix. And I don't want to lose the Diamondbacks, neither through the course of their current term, which has a little over 10 years to go. And really, I'd like to reach an agreement where the Diamondbacks could stay in downtown Phoenix for a much longer period than that. We don't want to lose our great downtown assets.
$60 million asking price. What are your thoughts on that? It seems a little low to a lot of folks. Of course, you got 180 some odd million in renovations and repairs that need to be done. Still $60 million for that facility.
Well, I'm not a party to that agreement, so I don't want to talk about the particularities of the offer, what it might get them. But in general, it's a great downtown parcel, but it's really the building that's on there is built for a singular tenant, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ironically, one of the disagreements between the Diamondbacks and the county is how well the stadium has been managed on non-baseball games and nights. You know, as a city, we want as much activity in that building as possible. And we would like to see a lot more activity on non-baseball days, just like you see at Talking Stick Resort Arena where the Suns play. That building is busy over 200 nights a year. It is a hugely important asset for downtown. So as we work together on a solution, one of the solutions has to be that building gets activated on a much more regular basis in the heart of our city.
With that in mind, what is known about the buyer? Before you answer that, are you concerned that there's really only one buyer here?
Well, look, that's really an arrangement between the county and the Diamondbacks. So I got to be very careful about not trying to interfere with this potential contract and agreement. What I'm most concerned about as I meet with the buyer organization, and I will in the very near future, the representatives of the buyer investment group, I want to make sure that they understand how important this parcel is to downtown Phoenix and how important it is for the team to stay here for the long haul. Obviously, if this entity is successful in buying the building, which the Diamondbacks have to sign on, so it has to be a partnership between the landlord and the tenant, if you will, inevitably a portion of the deal is going to be coming to the city and asking for support for much more development on site. So I think in all likelihood over the long haul, if we're going to keep the Diamondbacks in downtown for a long period of time, and I want them to, the city of Phoenix is going to have to be involved in allowing much more dense development on site. The details of that obviously are to come, but getting good quality development in our downtown is a great thing. The market is hot for it right now, and if we can work an arrangement where it allows the Diamondbacks to stay there for a long period of time, that's a win for everyone. That's what I'm going to be working on.
So is Phoenix ready to take on some of these aforementioned 187 some odd million renovation costs?
No, we're not going to pay a single penny towards those renovation costs. That obviously will have to be worked out in this arrangement between the county and the Diamondbacks. The point I'm trying to make to you, though, the reason why this might be a more attractive asset to a potential buyer. Why would you buy a building, a very expensive building, where there is only a single tenant? By the way, that tenant is scheduled to leave in 10 years unless we can work out a longer arrangement. That doesn't sound like a particularly strong financial agreement. It only makes sense if they look at that land much more aggressively than has been in the past. If they look at it as an opportunity to do things like hotels,
Right.
New office, condominiums or other residential, retail, et cetera, really turn into a sports and entertainment complex. And I think that's what they're going to be talking to me about, is if they're able to acquire the stadium, they can pay for these improvements utilizing revenue from new development on site. Very akin to what ASU did for paying for a football stadium, where they used revenue from other developments to help pay for those football stadium improvements without going directly to taxpayers. I won't pay one penny of city resources for it, but we'll work with them. We'll work with them if they can work an arrangement with the Diamondbacks for appropriate development on site.
The reason I ask is because some folks see this as the county unloading this thing, and the city now will be the next in line for the Diamondbacks or the new owners or whomever just to come hat in hand, tin cup in hand, and say, all right, we need public support. If they ask for Phoenix voters to help support this, would you go along with that?
No, that's not our responsibility. Look, we have a partnership with the Phoenix Suns. Talking Stick Resort Arena actually is owned by the people of the city of Phoenix. That's a long-standing partnership. As you know, I've taken a public position that as the Coyotes and the Suns are both beginning to look at their facilities, it makes no sense to have an additional building somewhere in the East Valley, et cetera, that it makes the most common sense for everyone to work together on a long-term partnership. But that really is my first priority as it relates to partnership with the city. The point I'm really making is, if in fact the county ends up fulfilling this agreement with this out-of-state investment organization, the Diamondbacks have to sign off on it. Inevitably, the look and feel of Chase Field is going to change. It's going to be much more of a sports and entertainment district type concept, utilizing the revenue from new development to help pay for the
Right.
stadium improvements. If that helps facilitate, keep the Diamondbacks in downtown Phoenix for the long haul, for much longer than their existing lease term, then I think that would be a very positive thing for the city of Phoenix. Again, this is an important underutilized asset as
Right.
it sits there. I want the team there for the long haul, well beyond the 10-year lease term or so. And so that's the role that the city of Phoenix is going to play in this solution.
So basically the role is to help facilitate the district, help out there as you can, but not specifically to renovate the stadium.
That would not be the role and responsibility of the
Okay.
people of the city of Phoenix.
All right, what does this do as far as a Sun Stadium downtown? Does it affect the dynamic here? Any impact here? What about it?
Well, look, I don't want to start negotiating on this show, as much as I love the viewers of Horizon. But obviously, first and foremost, we're going to be listening to what this investment group is thinking about development of the site. Obviously, the Diamondbacks have to be on board, but if they're going to go much larger to a sports and entertainment district, inevitably, Mr. Sarver and our partner, the Phoenix Suns, are going to have to be part of those conversations. Look, I want the Phoenix Suns to stay in downtown Phoenix for the long haul. This important asset, the Arizona Diamondbacks, not doing great on the field this year, but they will be doing great in the field in years future. That's a great asset for our community. And I want to, during my time as mayor, to work an arrangement where we can secure the long-term future of both teams in our city.
Very quickly, the sale of the TGN building, city owns that. That sale fell through. The billionaire entrepreneur, why did he sour on this sale? I thought that was pretty close to a done deal.
Well, again, there's a real estate deal, these things can be very, very complicated. This particular one didn't work out. The good news is that, man, it is a great building at a great location right on our biomedical campus, right in the heart of it, with great tenants, including TGen. There's already many other interested entities to purchase that building. I'm confident that as I sit here, that though it won't be the original purchaser, there will be other purchasers that are going to pay the appropriate amount of money so that the city of Phoenix can take that off of our offer. It was a great investment. TGen has been one of the best investments the city of Phoenix has ever made, not only because of the cutting edge research and science and lives that have been saved as a result of the medical research that's going on there, but it really, that investment, that statement by the city that we are going to invest in the very best in science and research, that helped to bring U of A Medical School to the heart of the city. That helped to bring the U of A and St. Joseph's Hospital Cancer Center, which opened recently. We have a great, dense biomedical campus, and TGen and the TGen building have been on the heart of it. So it's been a good investment, and now is the appropriate time, after this many years, for us to find a private sector partner to purchase it.
It's been an investment that was paid for with bonds. You got $71 million in P&I annually through, 2035. You got to sell that thing, Mayor. I mean, do you have folks ready to go with that? Because, again, this has been months now.
Yeah,
since
the good news is it's a great building with wet laboratory space ready to go. Try finding that around the metropolitan Phoenix area. It's very difficult. You don't find new spec wet lab buildings. So if you want to be in the bioscience space, this building is the best in the valley, with many existing tenants that are there for long enough period of time. The point I'm making is it's an asset with real value. Though it didn't work out for reasons I don't want to talk about on the air with the previous buyer, there are many other buyers who are actively looking at purchasing it, and I'm confident that in the very near future we'll be announcing a new purchaser. That's important because part of the backing up of the bonds was the use of the sports arena fund.
Yes.
It wasn't backed up with general fund money. So this will enable us to be a little more flexible as we work on our long-term partnership with the Suns, potentially Coyotes, and other entities in the heart of our city.
Yay or nay? How about that Sheraton Hotel? Anyone lined up to buy that thing?
Yes, that's going very, very well. We were in a due diligence period with a buyer that we've announced previously. And so, again, don't want to talk about the details of real estate deals that the city may be working on now, other than to say that that industry is going in the right direction. Downtown Phoenix is hot. The long-term future of that hotel is great, just like the convention business is for the city of Phoenix. So we have many purchasers who are looking at that, and if this one falls out, I'm confident we're going to get a good buyer of a great hotel, Sheraton in downtown Phoenix.
How come you don't want to talk about real estate deals on the program? We got a lot of real estate folks on this show. We could help you out there, Mayor. We could move this thing along.
When we are in the middle of negotiations, we normally reserve that for our executive sessions under state law.
All right. Mayor, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
As always.
Get the inside scoop on what's happening at Arizona PBS. Become an insider. You'll receive weekly updates on the most anticipated upcoming programs and events. Get the insider delivered to your email inbox. Visit azpbs.org to sign up today.
Tonight's edition of Arizona Art Beat looks at the Phoenix Girls Chorus, which is starting its 35th season. And joining us now to tell us more about the Phoenix Girls Chorus, Danya Tiller, Artistic Director of the Chorus, and also with us is chorus member Gretchen Monroe. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so what is the Phoenix Girls Chorus?
The Phoenix Girls Chorus is a nonprofit organization. Obviously, we're in our 35th year. of organization, and we are comprised of 5 different choirs. So we have age appropriate choirs starting at 2nd grade, age 7, all the way through high school.
And again, 7 through 18, I think, is the age range,
Yes,
pretty
sir.
much there. And is it by age only? Is it by accomplishment? How do you do that?
Not exactly. So it's partially by age and grade, but as they progress through, it also becomes about ability and talent. So we have some overlap in some of the choirs to accommodate for that.
And you have been with the choir for how long?
This is my 10th year.
10th year, my goodness. When you first started out, what did you expect? What were you looking at?
Well, my sister was in it previously, and we were recommended by a friend, so I had an idea of what I was going to receive, but still, it's amazing. You know, you can't describe it in words and give it justice.
As far as the experience, is it a social experience? Is it a learning experience? Obviously, what are the things you have learned there?
Definitely growth in music, and hearing, in your sight reading, in rhythm, but also growth in leadership as well.
Yeah. And that's kind of the mission of the girls' chorus. I mean, the chorus is kind of like self-esteem, leadership, teamwork, poise, all of these things.
Absolutely. One of the things I love to tell our new parents when we have orientation is that through this music education program, through our travel, through what we do together, we are trying to make better human beings through our music. So not just great musicians, but great human beings.
But as you're making these great human beings, though, music theory, choreography, all of that stuff has to be taught, huh?
Absolutely. So, you know, we kind of feel like we are the kind of activity for kids or for youth that is aligned with maybe a serious gymnast or a serious sports team, but we don't require the same commitment of time. So we require a lot of work and a lot of learning and achievement, but we don't have the daily rehearsals or the daily practices that some other sports do.
Sounds like one after-school, all-day rehearsal per week.
Yes, so depending on the choir, it's anywhere between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours of time once a week.
Yeah, when you auditioned now for the chorus, what was that like? Was it pressure-packed or was it just kind of a breeze?
An easy combination, somehow.
Explain.
Well, I was in 3rd grade, so I don't remember much, but I remember I sang a jazz kind of song, so I was a little bit nervous, but I was also a little bit confident too. So.
Since then, now 10 years you've been with this. Have you?
Yes.
I understand that you guys travel all over the world. Carnegie Hall. Where have you been?
I have been to New York, Boston, Colorado, Italy, Spain, DC, and this year I am planning to go to Canada with the choir as well.
Wow. I mean, this is important as well. It's a learning experience in and of itself.
Absolutely. You know, the touring part of our program is essential. The girls not only bond with each other, but they learn so much about other cultures and other people on our travels, and how much influence their music can have on other people.
And not so much with Gretchen in particular, but when you see girls coming in 3rd grade, 4th grade, a young age like this, and you watch them develop, their talent skills grow, talk to us about that.
Well, it's funny you should say that. The group of seniors that are exiting this year have been in the choir the whole time that I've been a part of the choir. So 7 years or more, they've all been in the choir. So they kind of feel like my children. So it's going to be difficult to say goodbye to them, but I cannot believe what amazing young women they've become. They're all confident, poised, as you mentioned before. They have jobs, they do community service, they are great students, they're going to get scholarships, they're going to go to college. I feel like the chorus has had a little bit to do with that, but they're just genuinely great, great human beings.
You feel like the chorus has had a little bit to do with that?
Definitely.
How can you talk to us about that?
Well, all of the girls there are very intelligent, at least with school, but also they're wise. The type of people it attracts are people who not only are smart, but also have an eye for compassion and for expression. And it comes in many forms. Some people are shy about it, some people throw it all around, but just the combination of all of us putting our individual effort to make something beautiful that's what it's about.
And it also takes a commitment. You learn about committing to something and sticking to it, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, is that one of the lessons you learned here?
It is. It's something that is not always present in all families. And we do have those that try it out and it's not for me, but those that join and realize, wow, this is something I love, they stay with it. And it does require commitment. It requires loyalty. It requires a time and putting it above some other things sometimes, but they're always glad that they did.
When you see them at Carnegie Hall, what do you think?
That was pretty special.
Yeah.
It was kind of a career high for myself as well to be on that podium with them. But looking into their faces as they stood in that historic spot and sang historic music with a beautiful professional orchestra, it was beyond heavenly for me. I enjoyed every second of it, and I loved to make eye contact with them while we were singing together. It was great.
Well, congratulations again for all the success and continued success there at the girls' chorus. Good luck to you, whatever
you.
comes next. I mean, you've had a pretty successful career so far. Best of luck to you as well.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us. Thursday on Arizona Horizon, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Diane Douglas will talk about a variety of education issues, and Corporation Commissioner Andy Tobin explains why he wants to cut the Commission's oversight. That's on the next Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Funding for Curate, the Arizona Arts and Culture Fund, is made possible by Signal Society members Eleanor Light and Judith Hards, and by you can become a curator of the arts on Arizona PBS. For more information, call 602-496-8888.